Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's reading is all about what your life is going to look like 1 year from now. So this is a pick-a-pile reading, and if you don't know how a pick-a-pile reading works, I'll get into that with you now. So essentially you just want to choose the pile that you feel most intuitively drawn to, either based on the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, or any of the numbers in the timestamps below, or based on the zodiac associated with your pile, which I'll include in the timestamps as well, or based on the crystal or object on top. So for today we do have crystals, and I will get into those with you now. So for pile 1 we have some pistachio calcite. For pile 2 we have chocolate calcite. And for pile 3 we have some Mangano calcite. Once you have chosen your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye! Okay, so welcome pile 1 to your reading. So we're going to be finding out what your life is going to be looking like 1 year from now. So you got the Sun card, which says passion, power, positivity. Remember to be joyous and have a positive outlook on life. So with the Sun card, of course, there's the Sun card in tarot, which is very, very successful. So this is the same kind of energy. So a lot of success is in your future, a year from now. I think you'll be very happy 1 year from now with where your life is at, just because we do have that yellowy Sun card. And then also I think you'll be getting a lot more notice for the things that you accomplish and the things that you do. You will be very celebrated, and you'll be celebrating a lot of your successes as well. And I keep looking at those houses, and then I've just seen this door here in this window, so I'm potentially seeing some sort of relevance to do with where you live and your house. It could be that you're traveling or moving, or maybe changing the situation of your house. So if maybe you're in more of a temporary situation, it could be becoming more permanent, or vice versa. But I'm just seeing some sort of relevance and significance with where you live also being a part of this reading. So I think where you live might look different in a year from now than where you currently are. So let's get into your other oracle cards. So these are dream cards, so what the cards actually say might not be relevant to you, but I'll pull out like keywords so we can get an idea. So your first one is the door. Yeah, of like unexplored possibilities. That's why I think I keep looking at the houses as well, because it's like a piece of land with lots of different houses and lots of paths you could explore and take. So yeah, you're definitely going somewhere new next year. You'll be in a completely new place physically. I think you'll be traveling a lot. On top of that, I think you'll be a little bit more extroverted, because the sun is an extroverted energy as opposed to the moon, which is more introverted. So here it sort of says, you know, we use doors for protection, but if you always keep them closed, then you're keeping out, you know, a refreshing breeze, the smiling faces of your friends. So it's important to kind of have that balance, and I think you'll be stepping out into the unknown a bit more and going out more. There will be more opportunity for you to be out and about exploring. I think as well you'll be opening yourself up to different ways of perceiving things and thinking that kind of allow you to meet new people that you wouldn't usually normally meet, because you're willing to make more connections with this door open. There will be a lot of opportunities for you as well. Already there's lots of like yellow energy in your pile, which is very much giving happiness, I think. Okay, we also have teeth, which I think is interesting because something about dreaming of your teeth can actually have a relevance to how you perceive yourself and how you're worried about how you're being perceived. So a part of why this change in energy, because this is very different to who you currently are, I think, because I'm seeing a new start for you in a year from now. So I think at the moment you might be more like moon introverted energy, but next year you'll be very sun extroverted energy. But a part of the reason why you might be stuck in that moon introverted energy is because you might be worried about how you're going to be perceived by others and judged, most importantly, by others. So I see next year there's no more that like kind of fear of judgment. You're kind of freeing yourself from that. You're definitely entering a new phase, especially since we have development, aging, mortality here. You're starting something new and you're recognizing something about yourself. I feel like you want to seize more opportunities a year from now, so you're not going to let things pass you by like you feel like you ordinarily would. But also with teeth, that can be about class as well when you have dreams about teeth. I read somewhere one point in time that if you dream about like losing teeth or teeth falling out or things like that, it can be about your fear of being lower in like the social hierarchy and how uncomfortable it makes you feel to be in that space. So it could also be like an elevation of your social hierarchy next year as well. Like you could be up leveling somehow within society. And then with the sun, it's also about having eyes on you, ironically, even though you can't look at the sun, but you can look at the moon. So I feel like there might be something changing about your social status as well next year. Okay, your next card is reoccurring. So there's something about patterns that keep coming up in your life, things that keep reoccurring that kind of make you feel ready for something new, because you don't want to be held back by any sort of like habits that are keeping you stuck or keeping you in the same sort of place. So you'll be breaking cycles this year, and I think that's going to release you for next year, to be more open to new things. Also, I think with reoccurring, I think you're going to be making decisions leading up to next year, which is going to lay the foundations for that next year, which is why I'm bringing this up. But I think you're going to be making the right decisions for you, very like smart decisions. So it could be reoccurring in the sense of you're getting into a really good routine that is laying the foundations for you getting what it is you want from those routines, what it is you want out of those next year. So it could be like a new workout routine, or I don't know, new like eating habits or new lifestyle habits, or maybe new social habits. There's something that you're doing reoccurringly this year that's laying the foundation for the success that you're going to have next year. And then you also have art. That's interesting, because I was kind of thinking in my head when I just said now about, you know, reoccurring routines and things. I was kind of thinking that one of the things you might be doing is some sort of like hobby or like passion project, and that could be laying the foundations for whatever you're going to be starting or getting into next year. And obviously there's a lot of success around this thing. So it implies if there's some sort of artistic pursuit you want to go after, that would be really great for you, really successful. Maybe start laying down the foundations now to prep for next year. Also, potentially you might be revamping your wardrobe as well, and your sense of style and your fashion, and that might actually have an effect on the way you feel and the way that you express yourself externally to the world. Okay, so let's get into your tarot cards. Firstly, you have the 8 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the Sun. You literally got the Sun right underneath the Sun as well. So that's crazy. Next year is going to be so successful for you. You have the Eight of Cups in reverse, and I do want one more card for you, so I'm gonna slide these up because I'm gonna like crop this later during editing, so I'm trying to work out like where you'll actually be able to see the cards. So hopefully I've done that right. And then you also have the Nine of Pentacles. So with the sun kind of coming up again, and then now that I've revealed these cards and I know what's in your reading, with the sort of reoccurring and the art and things like that, combined, this is very much giving to me that if there's anything you are pursuing a year from now, or to prep for that year from now, it's going to be so successful, and I think you're going to find a lot of happiness and joy. Your luck's going to be turning around. You're going to be starting on the right side of the day, you know, like, you know how people, well, there's like a saying, it's like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed today or something, which means like you're grumpy or you're moody or whatever. You're waking up on the correct side of the bed, because it's like this street that I keep looking at with all the houses, it's like very sunny, very bright, very open, so it's like you're waking up with a lot of positivity, a lot of hope, and I feel like that's how that year is going to go for you. It's just going to be really, really fun, make you feel really good, really secure. Okay, sorry, I think I knocked the camera, so I've just readjusted. So something as well that I find interesting, so first of all of these cards are like super positive, so combined this is giving like a really powerful message of just success and positivity. But something I'm kind of getting with the Eight of Cups in reverse, just because it's in reverse, obviously I mentioned there might be some sort of travel or change or something different to do with your home, some sort of change. It could be the change in who you're living with, or a change in where you live. It could be anything like that, but there is something to do with the home being different in the next year. There's an energy of you being uncertain, of moving on from the past. So even though this situation might not work for you anymore, you might not feel ready to leave, or you actually might want to leave, feel ready, know it's right, but can't for some reason. And we're kind of getting the message of like, you might feel like you should doubt in yourself and your interpretation of the situation, but you really shouldn't. If you are interpreting it as, you know, you need a change, then trust yourself. That's kind of what's coming through there. But with all that was like the one sort of thing is, don't feel held back, because otherwise, you know, you've got all these great things waiting for you, so don't hold yourself back and postpone it any longer, because these are waiting for you literally next year. It's so close. But with all the other cards, first of all, the fact you got the Sun with the Nine of Pentacles is like wild, because with the Nine of Pentacles, essentially there will be a lot of material, spiritual success for you next year. So your physical, earthly things are going to be improving, as well as your kind of spiritual things. You know, this card is about you being really strong, really self-reliant, really at peace with yourself. So that's how you're going to be feeling next year. And because you're at peace with yourself, you're not willing to accept people into your life that are not 10 out of 10s, 100% worth it, 100% on your wavelength. Like, you just don't need them. So if someone's bringing bad energy to you, you just don't fuck with it. But like, if someone presents themselves to you and they are like a 10 out of 10 perfect person, only then would you really accept that person into your life. So you're going to be a little bit more cutthroat and very at peace with yourself in the next year. This card is also about enjoying like a really rich, fulfilling life. So again, it's giving strongly a big emphasis on like your material wealth improving, and you feeling really satisfied with what you have, especially with the double Sun cards here. You're going to be feeling very satisfied with your life. But then with the Eight of Wands, again, this is like borderline the same energy. It essentially is all about like positive movements, especially in travel and love as well. So if you're feeling any doubts about a shift or a change or something that you've been feeling you want to do but you're not sure about, this is like giving you a green light. Like the Sun card also means yes. So if there was any question you had in your mind when you clicked on this reading, the fact that you've got 2 sun cards and then these cards, you're getting like yes, 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 do it. So you're getting like a strong spiritual message of like, yes, go ahead with the thing that you want, and keep doing what you're doing with your habits and, you know, the positive ways that you've been working on yourself this year. Also, there's something you're working on when I mentioned those habits with the 8 of Wands, that it's going to take some time to progress, but it will pay off. So it will take time, but it will pay off. And as it starts to pay off, as you start to see that, it will then snowball very rapidly into change and action. Like, it will just start to create more and more success. The more effort you put into this thing, it will just naturally start to reap benefits all of its own. But then with the 7 of Wands in here as well, again, kind of all of these cards in some way tie back to the Sun card, but you're also getting a very strong message of like, you will be getting a lot of power, and with that comes responsibility, you know, because you have to make sure you're protecting your resources and your assets and yourself, because when you get something people want, there can be a lot of jealousy there. So you're gonna be the envy of a lot of people, especially with the Sun cards. So you'll be needing to level up in your protection, but in terms of your power, that's just going to keep growing, especially societally with the Teeth card here and with the Door. So overall, that is what I see for you, pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, so hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the chocolate calcite, which I'm gonna hopefully place there and it won't move. And your oracle card says air. So your keywords say breath, life and travel. What a powerful and stabilizing tool your breath is. So of course we're getting kind of the obvious signs of like travel, freedom next year, but then we're also getting like that underlying message of you connecting with yourself a bit more and with nature, and maybe doing some like meditation, some yoga, or maybe that's something you already do, but it's just a massive part of your life next year. It's something you really enjoy doing that takes up a lot of your time. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of movement and a lot of freedom for you next year. So let's get some other oracle cards for you. I think it will be very dreamy, your life next year, because of all the like swirls that I'm seeing and the moon. I feel like it's going to be a very introverted year for you, not in like a bad way. Not that, because I don't view introvertedness as a bad thing. I think it's like balance, you know, you kind of have to be both, or you have to have both qualities, and neither are like bad or good. I'm just saying that next year I'm seeing a lot of introvertedness, which to me is a lot of like free ability to move, because it's like there's no eyes on you, which is nice. It's like a nice retreat. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle cards. So firstly, you have lost. By the way, these are like dream interpretation cards, so they might not be directly relevant, but I'm going to pull keywords to interpret for your reading. So you're going to be gaining a lot of new direction next year because of you working on your inner peace and your inner wisdom, because we're seeing the words like anxious, overwhelmed, confused, but obviously this is saying a powerful and stabilizing tool is your breath. So you're going to be stabilizing yourself, feeling a lot more powerful, a lot more guided as someone with more direction and purpose, because you're going to be doing that inner work. So for example, if you're just like breathing in and out casually, that breath is just going anywhere and everywhere, like but if you're concentrating on your breathing and you're breathing in really deeply, and you can breathe out like really quick and sharp or really slow and long, so you're directing where the air is going. So something that you feel is like something you can't really tame per se, you're managing to do that. Like, you can't grab air, you can't hold on to it, you can't direct it, but when you're breathing, if you make your breath intentional, then you can direct where it's going. So you're going to be giving your life a lot more direction next year. You're going to be feeling so much more stable and so much more wise, and you'll know what to do when things go wrong, or, you know, when to enjoy things that are going good. You're going to be feeling so much more solid as a person. Like, I think if you have any feelings of like fear, doubt, anxiety, anything like that, you're really going to be like, it's really amazing, but you're really going to be taking charge of that somehow and guiding yourself so that you feel more safe making the decisions on your own. Like, you feel more dependable on yourself, self-reliant. That's how you're going to be feeling next year. Oh, transformation. Yeah, you're completely changing, because obviously instead of being ruled by those fears, you're going to be ruled by what you want, and you're going to be ruled by your desires. So there's big transformation on its way to you, because the death is the end of like a previous cycle that wasn't working for you, and the reintroduction of like something new. There might be like certain patterns that you do, or just in general the way that your life is, which you might not be able to avoid. There's certain parts of life you can't avoid that might be holding you back or adding to those anxieties or fears, but you're going to be working through what that is, what relationships that is, what behaviors or patterns or whatever it is that is kind of adding to your anxiety. You're going to be working through those. And down here it's also talking about moving on from a situation. So it says here, you might choose to light a candle, look at old photographs, and symbolically release something whose time has come to an end. Then commit to an action that will help you feel more fully alive. So it could even be that there's something from your past that's giving you a lot of those sort of inner turmoil emotions. So whatever that is that's kind of holding you back now, that is not going to be holding you back next year. You will have released it. You will have moved on from it. You'll be feeling so much more free and alive next year. Okay, so you have strangers. So you might actually be meeting new people next year as well, but it could also be that you're making acquaintance with the parts of yourself that you haven't even explored yet. This more like take charge, more dependable side of yourself. You might have anxieties about making connections with new people, but you're putting those anxieties aside, obviously, because you're working on it. And especially if you're going to be traveling as well, you're putting that aside so that you don't have that fear of meeting new people, because you recognize like it can be really good for you. Or someone might actually be helping you to step into this person that you're becoming as well. Yeah, mirror. So you're like having to do some self-reflection in the year leading up to next that is going to change the way you see yourself and change the way that you want to be. And it could be that somebody is helping to show you that, helping to show you like the areas you could, you know, work on to kind of improve that in a sense. Let me shimmy some of these over because we need more space. And then you also have baby. This is interesting because it's kind of, I feel like this is talking about you, because when you have like a lot of those anxious feelings and a lot of fear and things kind of holding you back and you don't feel stable and solid, it's because you're kind of at the amateur phase, you're kind of at the baby phase, and you're gonna be up leveling into a more mature side of yourself. So when you're feeling lost, you might be feeling inexperienced or quite naive or helpless in situations, but then this mirror is going to be held up to you where you're reflecting on that, and then that cycle's ending and you're becoming someone different, so that you're no longer like a vulnerable person. Instead of being carried by the wind, you're going with the flow. You're directing the air, which felt like something you couldn't direct or couldn't control before, but now you can because you've figured it out. So that's what I'm seeing for you next year, is you will have completely shifted from this kind of helpless, vulnerable, almost inexperienced, maybe naive place that you're kind of coming from, and you'll be transitioning into somebody completely different. Someone who is more go with the flow and less afraid of everything as well, is what I'm getting. You'll be feeling way less afraid about your situation and your stability. So let's get some tarot cards for you now. Okay, so your first card is the Fool. That's so amazing. You're literally going on a journey. So you've got like traveling, going on a journey, you've got baby here, and if you don't know about the Fool card, essentially this is kind of the baby energy. Like you're starting from scratch, you're starting from a place of naivety, hopefulness, just kind of hoping things will work out, and that's why it's got a guide here helping it. So you might actually have like a spiritual guide supporting you on this journey as well to keep you safe. You have Temperance, which is all about balance. So let me not interpret. I was about to, but let me not do that just yet until I've got all your cards. You have the Ten of Pentacles. You have the Nine of Swords. Lots of bluish colours. And you have the Five of Cups in reverse as well. Okay, let me set these aside. Okay, so I'm actually gonna move these around a little bit because it's almost telling a story and I want you to see the trajectory of the story. So I'm just gonna move these. Okay, so firstly, I feel like the Fool card is your like kind of main card for this reading. So in pile 1 it was the Sun card, but for you I think it's the Fool. This is like the directional card. That's kind of summing up your whole reading. So firstly we've got the Nine of Swords here, which is literally a card all about anxiety and worry. Like this person is having sleepless nights, they're stressed, they're anxious, they're overwhelmed. You know, they've got all these different worries hanging above them. But this person also has a dream catcher with them, which is there to kind of catch those negative dreams, those nightmares when they come up. So there is an element of like protection around you with that, and with the Fool card you've got like the little guide there, the guide dog. So in a sense, something is around you, protecting you and preventing things from going like too far as well. But this card is all about having anxieties over things that you really don't need to worry about. Essentially, you might be worrying about things that you can't control, like the air, and there's no point worrying about things you can't control. But that's what this card says. But as we've been talking about, you have found a way to control it, you found a way to master it and, you know, bend it almost and use it to your advantage. And that's how you control the journey, not the outcome. It's like working through it, working with it. And working with these anxieties is through like meditation and things like that. But I'll get into that in a second, because then you've got the Five of Cups in reverse. So this is essentially urging you to not worry, because it's in reverse. Not worry too much, because the worst of whatever has occurred to you is over. So from here on out, it's only ever going up. And as you can see, they've still got 2 cups standing from the 3 that are knocked over, which means these 2 can still be filled by, you know, the rainwater coming in. So there is still a chance for your cup to be refilled, for you to feel happy again. And that's going to give you a lot of hope, which is where the Fool card comes in, because with hope comes that ambition to start something. So with the Fool card, something that it's kind of telling me for your reading specifically, yes, it's about journeys and traveling and being naive and just kind of hoping for the best and embracing the ups and downs and finding that balance, you know, here with Temperance. But it can also be about trusting your own gut intuition, your own decisions instinctively, knowing you've made the right decisions in life instinctively without worrying about other people's opinions. So for example, your family's opinions might matter a lot to you, and you might only do things that they tell you to do, or like you go to them for reassurance that you're doing the right thing every single time you've got something that comes up in your life that you need to make a decision over. But you're going to start taking more control and trusting in yourself more when you need to make a decision. So if someone is like, oh, that sounds like a poor choice there, I wouldn't do that. If you want to do it, you're going to be like, okay, I appreciate the opinion, but you're still going to go ahead and do it. So with the Fool card, this is the turnaround point for you, where all of a sudden you're going to learn how to master your inner turmoil, because you're learning to trust yourself and your internal monologue. With this card here, one of the best ways to recognize that you can trust yourself is realizing that anxieties aren't based on fact. They're not actually real. It's not something that has actually happened. It's you being anxious about something that could potentially happen. So you're essentially worrying over something that isn't actually like a real tangible thing. And so when you realize that, you're then going to realize you can trust yourself, because you're no longer going to be ruled by those anxieties. You're going to set those anxieties aside and trust what you decide is best for you. And then with Temperance here, which is also kind of, so this is definitely like the card ruling your pile right now, but then this is like the runner-up, because with this one, it is talking about balance. It is talking about going with the flow. You know, yes, you can acknowledge those anxieties, but then set them to the side and move forward. Like, it is talking about all those things, but a unique kind of sub-interpretation of the Temperance card is that one way to hear yourself and trust yourself is to like quieten your mind. And that is one of the best ways to hear yourself, and be patient along the journey as well. So for example, this card is urging a lot of meditation, and we did mention in the beginning with Breathe that you might be getting into meditation or yoga or things like that to try and soothe yourself and soothe those anxieties. And this card urges that, because when you meditate, your mind can kind of go silent, those anxieties can quieten down, and then you can actually hear your true voice over all that noise. You can actually hear yourself. So that is something that's also coming in as well. So at this point in your life, in next year, because I feel like you're going to be doing all of that this year. That's just the feeling I'm getting. So by the time it hits next year, the way your life is going to be looking is you're going to be feeling so much more secure in yourself, ready to start a journey because you trust yourself. You will have started meditation, or you're currently doing it already, or yoga or something like that to try and help settle your anxieties. You're going to be basically completely transforming from this person into someone brand new. And then lastly, with the 10 of Pentacles over here, this is talking about spiritual and material success, a lot of prosperity and security. So when I was saying before, directing that air, directing that breath, meditating, doing yoga, that sort of thing is going to make you feel so much more secure and trusting in yourself, which is the key to your success and your prosperity on this journey, is trusting yourself, because you have all the right answers within you. You've just been too afraid to trust yourself and listen to what you have to say. But now finally you're like, no, I am going to listen to myself, and that's what's leading you down a really successful path. So I'm definitely seeing success and prosperity waiting for you at the start of that new year, because of all this work that you've done, because you've recognized yourself, you've done some introspection, you know, like dreams and moons and all these things. It's all very introspection-y because there's a moon here as well. So you're doing a lot of internal work this year that's really gonna blow your mind at who you become next year. Like, you won't be expecting who you're gonna become. You wouldn't have expected that such small changes and just like these minor tweaks to the way that you think and the way your mind works could cause such a drastic change in who you are. You're really going to be stepping into your power next year. You're going to be a completely new, different, transformed version of yourself. So in the best way possible. In a way that helps to facilitate your success from then on as well. And remember, it only goes up from here, because your cups are sitting up, ready to be filled. You know, it only goes up from there as they get filled more and more by the day with like hope, happiness, prosperity. So, and you've also got a lot of guidance and support that's gonna like ensure you get there, especially with the angel as well. And the sun's in the background creeping around the corner, ready to like bring you that success and that extrovertedness. It's like hovering there. So I think at the start of the next year, there will be this strong extroverted energy, sunshine energy, success energy. At the minute, you're working in your moon energy space, so you're doing a lot of introspection, but you will get here next year. Okay, so that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello pile 3, welcome to your reading all about what your life is going to look like a year from now. So, just going to put your crystal there. You have Tree as your oracle card, which says growth, life established. Reach for your full potential and focus on obtaining wisdom. So you're going to be becoming so much more established in your life next year. By the time you reach that point in your life, you're going to feel so grounded, so secure, so rooted. You're going to understand your full potential. You're going to be so much wiser. You're going to have better connections with people and better balance in your life as well, because you've got the sun and the moon here. You're going to be creating a lot of abundance, and there will be a lot of success around you. I think people are going to be drawn to you as well. They're going to recognize that success. And then with the bird here, they're so intelligent, like so incredibly intelligent, and their brains are like the most similar to like a human brain. So I feel like as well, this is kind of saying you're going to be intelligent next year. Like, you're going to be so knowledgeable on certain things. You're going to have the experience in life that's going to make you knowledgeable on certain topics as well. So that's kind of where I'm seeing you being at next year. Let's take a look at your oracle cards. I'm also seeing something about family as well. Just because it is trees and it says, you know, life and things like that. Not sure what that is about. It could be that you're like starting a family, but it could also be that your connection with your family is important next year. Okay. So these oracle cards are actually like dream cards, so they might not be like directly relevant, but it's the keywords that I'm going to kind of be looking at for your reading. So your first card says money. Oh, okay. So you had tree as well, and that saying popped into my head of like money doesn't grow on trees. So it makes me feel like you're growing your abundance next year. Like your abundance is improving because like you're making your money, you're making your abundance. And I feel like because obviously money is typically made out of paper and paper comes from trees, it makes me feel like you are the thing that makes that money. So it could be like your image socially as well that ends up making that money. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of daily pleasure in your life a year from now, with meaningful friendships and good health as well. Like, I feel like the universe is valuing you and it's giving you a reward for all your goodness, your talents, your greatness, the contributions that you share with others. And it's also, this is coming up because I feel like it's also sort of saying invest in your future now. So start putting in the groundwork and laying the foundations, you know, planting the seeds, growing the roots to get to that place in the future. You also have phone. So communication is going to be really key in your life a year from now. It could be that communication is relevant to this situation. So it could be that like what you do for a living is speaking or writing or something, like making videos, something like that. But it could also be you're connecting more with others as well. And this card is indicating it's about realizing your soul's true purpose, which is also coming through strongly. So it could be that a year from now you will know exactly what it is you want to do that's going to make you feel really happy. Also, if you have problems setting boundaries, I can see that clearing up for you. A year from now you'll be someone who is able to like turn the phone off basically. So like, you know when it's time for you to have your own time and retreat, and you know like you want to stick to your schedule. You're not willing to let anything you've pre-planned sort of fall through because of somebody else's poor management of time. So if, let's say you've arranged to meet up with 3 friends in a week, and one of them cancels and wants to reschedule on the day you've got plans with the other friend, you're just going to go for the plans with the friends you originally made those plans with, because they shouldn't, you know, suffer, and you shouldn't suffer because that other person's plans fall through, you'll just have to reschedule for a time that like suits you best. So I feel like you're also going to be setting like clear, firm boundaries about your schedule as well. We also have mirror, and art, which we had for pile 2. So if you were drawn there, you could check that out. And I shuffled these good too, so it's interesting they come up. But yeah, you're gonna be reflecting a lot, really deeply, doing a lot of like deep inner reflections about yourself. Someone might even be holding up a mirror to you and kind of showing you areas where maybe you need to work on or improve, or something you could be doing to get the life you want, because you might be someone who talks a lot about what you want but doesn't really know how to get there or how to achieve it. And so you might actually have people turn up in your life who show you the way or help you out, or just help create some clarity in your mind, because sometimes your mind can be like, no, I can't do this, it's too much. But then having someone there be like, yes you can, and this is how you do it, can just really help. So I feel like you might be surrounded by a lot of support, a lot of connection and community next year. And also you're getting very creative. So again, you might be in the kind of arts field, and that could be where that abundance is coming from, and that wisdom, especially because we have phone and then art. So it could be something to do with talking is your art form. It could also be therapy, maybe you're a therapist or something, but one of those avenues is really going to be abundant for you a year from now. Okay, so let's get your tarot cards. Ooh. Okay, that one wanted to come out. So. Wow, you've got the World card, and the trees are like life and death, so they are like the World card basically. So that's interesting that you got that. I feel like that's your direction-y card for this reading. It's the card that is summing up this reading for you. Okay, so let's just get a few more cards here for you. So you have the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Three of Wands. I'm just going to neaten these up. I might skip to the part where it's all neatened up because this might take a while. So with the World card, of course this is talking about the completion of something, the successful ending of something, but it also talks about happy endings as well as a lot of success and abundance. It talks about happy endings. So I thought that was quite interesting that it came up with the Ten of Swords at the same time, because with the Ten of Swords, something might have come to kind of a messy ending, but because it's paired with this, it makes me feel like it's gonna be a happy ending. So that could be like the natural evolution of a friendship. It could be the ending of, you know, a job, or the ending of, you know, just a cycle in life that maybe you're feeling a little bit down about. But I think by the time the new year starts, some new information is going to come to light about this ending that's going to make you feel so much like you have so much more closure on the situation and a lot more happy and optimistic. Also, you will have healed from this situation as well. Whatever it is that's ended, you will find a lot of healing next year at the start of that journey, because you're doing a lot of growing, you're doing a lot of work, and that is helping you to heal from anything. But on top of that, you also get that kind of good news that closes that chapter of your life in a really nice way. You're going to be really resilient. You know, trees they are very resilient. You know, like if they get if there's any like forest fires, or if they're struck by lightning or whatever, it actually regenerates like better regrowth of a forest. So it actually helps for the forest to grow back even more luscious than before. So sometimes people do like controlled forest fires on like their land so that it grows back really like luscious and beautiful and green. So you're very resilient to anything that might come your way. But there is definitely a strong focus on money and success for the following year, because with the Four of Pentacles, this is about you having the ability to have saved and to have like saved substantially, and the ability to kind of have fun, if that makes sense. Like it's sort of like an abundance that has come in. It's like you have a lot of abundance, a lot of financial abundance, so you've saved a lot of it because you're a bit frugal, and you also want to ensure your stability. But this card is saying you will at some point hopefully recognize not to be so possessive over that kind of saving and kind of have a bit more fun, treat yourself where you can. So I think in the following year you will be at a point where you have enough abundance to be able to treat yourself, to be able to have fun and not worry about, you know, that causing any instability in your life. It will literally be something that wouldn't affect your state of being at that point in your life. So instead of being like, oh, can I afford that bag that I really like, because then will I have enough money for groceries? No, you won't be feeling that way. Instead, you'll have enough savings where you're like, I can literally buy that bag and 10 more and be okay. So that's what this card is kind of like. It's very great abundance for you to then go and do what you wanted to do with that money to begin with. And then with the Three of Wands, this is a foretelling of so much success. So in the year ahead, I see a lot of success for you, but this success is achieved through like relentless effort. But the one thing about this card is that even though of course effort is required, the success is inevitable. So it will just happen. And then that's kind of the energy of the World card as well, because the World card is like a journey that already has a clear path laid out for you, where it will eventually end in a happy ending, in a successful, you know, celebratory ending. So there's a lot of inevitable success in the year ahead for you. And then interestingly, with the Ace of Cups, we got some love coming in for you, but this can be self-love, because of course with the Ace of Cups it's the one, it's the self, whereas usually the Two of Cups is more of that romantic energy. But it can also be romantic love, it can be friendships. So again, I'm seeing lots of connections for you, not only with yourself but with others as well, because you've got the tree. Trees actually talk to each other, like not literally, like they can't speak, but their roots send like signals to each other. They can secrete like certain like hormones and things, that certain signals that kind of go out to other trees to warn them of things. Like there's a type of tree, I don't remember what it is, but like there's a type of bug that eats that type of tree, and whenever that bug infests that tree, it will release like a warning signal to the other types of tree that that bug is near, and it will start to, all the trees will start to release this like protective mucus basically. So that's so irrelevant and so gross, but that is to say that I feel like there's going to be a strong social network and a support network for you, especially with phone, where you'll be supporting others, they'll be supporting you, and you'll have your own little like community. And maybe that's why I was getting that family energy in the beginning, because it's almost like family support in a sense, because you have such strong ties with all these different people. So there's lots of love ahead for you in the year ahead as well, not only with yourself, with friends, but also potentially with partners as well, and with your community. And there's an undertone in all of these cards of sort of adventure in some sort of way, some sort of journey. And I think that journey is through growth and establishing yourself, establishing your life, up-leveling, you know, becoming more wise, more experienced, learning to heal and let go of certain things. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be a really productive year for you next year, really successful in ways that you might be hoping for, I don't know. But the key takeaway is also to remember to have fun as well. Like, yeah, you're on this journey, but also treat yourself, you know, as well as doing that inner work. Also take care of yourself and make sure you're getting what you need. You're going to be growing and mastering a lot of skills in the year ahead as well with the World card. And you're going to be establishing a true sense of like self-love as well. So that was your reading, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on Teen Tarot.